Hi guys, this is Quinton Goodman and I want to thank you first and foremost for taking the time to research this opportunity a little further. And guys, over the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to show you how you can earn money, enjoy time and freedom, and pay less in taxes without interfering with what you're currently doing. Let's get started. Now, unless you've been sleeping in the cave for the last, let's say 4 or 5 years, you're probably aware that we're in the midst of one of the worst global financial crises. Guys, there's inflation, there's deflation, there's record deficits, there's talk of, you know, depression, there's talk of, companies going under. There's few companies that have failed. The economy is in bad shape. There's been billions of dollars, almost trillions of dollars in bailout to the top, you know, big companies in America and all over the world. And guys, it really hits close to home for the middle class. We've seen personal savings wiped out. We've seen record unemployment. We've seen record bankruptcies. We've seen record foreclosures. This it looks bad. And guys, there's no way to look around it. We're in a mess here as far as the economy is concerned. And guys, let's look at how we're taught and how we're instructed to face this kind of crisis. We're taught to basically, go to school, get a good job, become an employee, and basically save for retirement and, live out our golden years. Now, let's be honest, most retirees end up broke. The average Social Security payment is $497.50 per month. Most people cannot live off $497.50 per month. That's why a lot of retirees have to end up going back to work because they can't afford to pay for their medication, they can't afford to pay for their house, they can't afford to take care of themselves. Even so, a lot of them end up moving in with their kids, and a lot of them even end up, getting one or two or three different jobs on the side. It's really not living out their golden years, would you say? Now, what you can do to fix this, you can start your own business, you can buy an existing business, or you can buy a franchise. But let's look at the costs associated with starting a franchise. If you had anywhere from 20 to say $1 million, you can start anything from anywhere from starting your own Subway to maybe even owning your own McDonald's. But guys, there are some obstacles and challenges to starting your own franchise. A couple are, there are high startup costs. There's thousands and millions of dollars in supplies. There's inventory. There's employees. There's complex government regulation and taxes. There's massive time commitment. And oh yeah, by the way, 90% of them fail within the first 5 years. So you have 9 out of 10 end up failing in the first 5 years. Now, those of you who may not know, Robert Kiyosaki is the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the #1 all-time bestseller in personal money management and personal finance. Has sold over 25 million copies. He talks about something which is known as the cash flow quadrant. And in the quadrant, you have 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is your E, which stands for employee. This is a person who works for someone else, who time and money is not their own, and time and money is also dependent on the amount of hours and the amount of sweat equity they put into their job. So some people decide to move from the employee to, let's say, the self-employed. But these people tend to end up becoming not self-employed, but they end up owning a job instead of a business because they're tied down to the job. They have to work 60 plus hours because they only have 4 employees. They only have, so many people working for them that they feel like they have to micromanage everything. And guys, there's no way you can enjoy that time freedom when you're working all the time. Now, Robert Kiyosaki suggests that we try to move from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant, and we could become what's called a big business owner. Now, this is usually a person who has over 500 employees and leverages their employees' time and efforts in order to generate profits for themselves. Now, you're saying to yourself, 500 employees, that sounds like a lot. But I promise you, if you stick with me, I'm going to show you how 500 is not really a lot. Now, some people may be fortunate enough to actually move over into the next quadrant, which is called the investor. This is a person who actually doesn't work, but their money works for them. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you were to have $500,000 to invest, and let's say you, for the sake of this example, you could find an investment vehicle that generated a 6% annual return, and do some quick math. That comes out to $30,000 a year divided by 12 breaks down to $2,500 a month. Now, can you live off $2,500 a month? Maybe, but you're not going to be living well. You're not going to be living the type of lifestyle you already dreamed. There has to be a better way. And guys, the better way, my friends, is network marketing. It's the business of the 21st century, guys. And it's not only Robert Kiyosaki who talks about network marketing. There's billionaires like Donald Trump and Warren Buffett who all recommend $114 billion industry of network marketing, guys. These are some of the richest men in the world who all are involved in network marketing. Warren Buffett, for example, has 2 or 3 network marketing companies. Donald Trump has his own network marketing companies. Now, there are so many advantages to being part of a network marketing company. There's training and support. You're not alone. It's a low risk, low startup, guys. You can actually get started in most network marketing companies for under $500. It's easy to start. You can do it in your part-time. You can work when you want. You can work where you want. There's significant tax advantages for owning your own home business. There's high potential profits, as well as residual income. Even when you're not working, you can earn money. And you're saying to yourself, what are some of the choices when I want to get involved in network marketing? Well, there are over 5,000 network marketing companies who are all competing with similar products and services in a few limited categories. And cosmetics and skincare could be one. You have nutrition and weight loss. You have household products. You have technology products. And you have financial, travel, and discount programs, guys. And most of the time, let's say for the technology becomes obsolete by the time it hits the market. Now, think to yourself, can Steve Jobs and Bill Gates do pretty good when it comes to technology? I think so. So if you're in the technology products, you're competing with some pretty big heavyweights in that industry. Financial and travel. Guys, most people don't use that stuff. Most people don't use those travel and discount programs. Now, what are some of the problems with, disadvantages of consumables? Well, once you use them, they're gone. Most of them tend to expire and eventually become worthless. And guys, what if I told you now there was a product that everyone wants, everyone loves it, the product is exciting and prestigious, competitors, they can't make a better one. What if I also told you it has lasting value, won't become obsolete, can be shared for generations, and demand at the moment is at an all-time high? And guess what? One last thing. It's never been sold in network marketing. My friends, I'm talking about getting involved in collectible assets, a new product category already generating explosive sales. Numis Network is pioneering the sale of gold and silver graded numismatic coins through the network marketing industry. Guys, it's a $100 billion industry with no dominant leader at the moment. Numis Network is positioned to become the worldwide leader in the sales of numismatic coins. Your timing couldn't be better. There's no experience necessary. We provide all the training, we provide all the support, and all your questions will be answered. Now, the most valuable coins. We send thousands and thousands of coins, of ordinary bullion coins, to be graded. Now, they're graded by some of the top and most respected leaders in independent grading. Only 10% of those coins come back with the highest grade, which is mint state 70. That means that coin has been certified mint state 70 and is sonically sealed and encapsulated for protection. Hasn't been touched by human hand. The coin is flawless. Now you're saying to yourself, why? What's the advantage of having a coin that's been graded at that such level? Well, let's give you a practical example. Let's say you were to have a vintage car sitting in your garage or sitting in your backyard. It's been there for 20, 30 years, has significant rain damage, has hail damage, that particular car you may could sell it for about $2,000. Now, if you had the same car, kept it in pristine mint condition, you could probably sell that same car for around $150,000. That's the value. Can you see the difference in in the grading and having a flawless product? Now, that's you saying, okay, that sounds good with cars, but I want to see an example with coins.